we talked about this decision making, So like we said, decision making is the key part of a fearless leadership. And what stops you from taking decision is I call the circle of fear. So whenever a situation is there, you basically need to assess it. Whether it's a fearless leader or any other leader or any manager have to assess the situation. He will have information and data. He will have some experience insights. He will also have experts available who can give him input, and experts could also mean his own team members who probably have experienced that more than that leader himself. And you calculate a risk. You could do a paper-based risk assessment, or you could just do a gut feel risk assessment. And then you need to take a call. Go, no go, or wait. And this is where the circle of fear stops him. If he is able to overcome it, it leads into actions. And obviously actions leads into results. And then the loop continues. The results go back to the feedback as back to the assessment, and we can start the whole loop again. Now, how to overcome fear? Because what's important is crossing that red circle which is given there. So, what I do is what I have written here. You can have your own model. You can have something that works for you. But the few questions that I ask myself whenever I'm faced with any situation: is the worst case acceptable? What is the worst that's going to happen, and is it acceptable? And even if it's that to happen, what would be its probability and impact? You don't have to take a number. No, it will be 2%, 5%. No, it doesn't mean that. It means, I think it is very rare that probably it will happen, or it is very likely that it's going to happen. I think these two ranges are good enough for you to decide. And second part of that question is, okay, let's say that though it's unlikely, but it still happens. What is the impact? Can you live with the impact? It's going to take you back by how many dollars, how many $1 million, or how many kilo dollars. Put it in terms of some kind of money, or in terms of effort or resources, whatever it is that you're facing today. And this question itself will probably give you most of the answers. I think we're talking about a very small amount. We can live with it. It's there in my contingency. Even if it happens, not an issue. I have time to take mid-course corrections, and even if I have to spend that money, I can spend that money. I have the budget for it. Second question, very important. Do you have a choice? Sometimes you don't even have a choice. You just have to do it. So if that is the case, why waste your time even contemplating anything? Then you should spend that time and energy to work out how do you respond? How do you actually now make it happen? Instead of sitting and procrastinating on should you do or should you not. The third question I ask myself, will you get an opportunity to course correct? Is this the final decision? Means it's just that you fired a bullet and now you can't recall the bullet, or you can't do anything, So I would say most situations in life are not bullet situations in which you fire a bullet out of the rifle, you just can't do anything. The bullet will go and hit the target. In most cases, you are actually firing a guided missile in which you have a limited amount of control on where the missile goes. And even if you have to abort it, you have a choice of aborting. You have a button where you can stop it, or you can turn it around, or you can move it in a different direction. You can speed it up, you can slow it down. So life actually gives us a guided missile kind of situations more often than not, than a bullet kind of situation. And if that is the case, then why are we afraid of at least firing it? Let's fire it out. If the target changes, target moves, I can move the missile with it. And my last bit is the timing right? Because finally a decision is a point in time. And is this the right time to take a decision? Or my assessment tells me that if I probably give some more time to it, I'll be in a better position. It's like something I'll again relate to my army life. You're sitting with a missile and a tank is coming there, and you now need to decide whether to fire the missile onto the tank or not. You ask all these questions. And the most important question you ask to yourself is, now the tank at the right place at the right time for me to fire so that I can hit it, or the tank can probably go back into a ditch and I will lose the target. Is the timing right? I think if you do all these 4 questions, you can have your own questions. You can decide to change these, and they'll give you immediate answers, and you don't need hours and hours to kind of contemplate this. In probably a couple of seconds, you can evaluate most of these questions and you can give a decision. And then monitor the intermediate results, like I said, course correct, use the lessons learned, and celebrate success. That is how a fearless leaders operate, and that's how I operate. Okay. I always remember, and I want you to remember, till you decide to run, you're not in the race. So sitting on the pavilion and thinking that you're going to win that race is not going to help you. You have to get down into the race and start running to even have a probability to win.